my YouTube honeys. How are you? Oh, as I bounce around. Off to work at a reasonable time. I think this morning I have somebody new come into the office helping out. And he has been, oh, come on, watch. Don't tell me to log in. Gawk. It seems, oh, jeez. I am a little behind schedule. But I'm going to move my tail and get there, so hopefully he's not waiting around. It's Dad. So I know sometimes it sounds confusing. I've talked about my biological dad who committed suicide. And then I talk about Dad who's helping me at the office. Well, we also talked about chosen families. And my dad, that I refer to in the present tense as someone who's helping me out and that I adore, is my chosen family dad. So that's the explanation as I get my teeth shook out. Anyway, so I'm going to do this at the beginning of the video because I'm actually remembering to do so, believe it or not. Oh, my goodness. Something just spray on me. Oh, did I leave that open? Whoops. I think I cracked the sunroof and it dripped on me. Anyway, I remembered to do this at the beginning of the video, so do the thumbs up with my double jointed thumb. And click the subscribe button so you can see what's going on when I post new stuff. It won't be long before surgeries are just happening. First few days of April, I need to go and get into the top surgery doctor's office and go pick out my boobs. I'm guessing I want to go into the C range, which is very common, so that's what I'm thinking. And I'm going to take my camera with me, and I'm going to try to get my buddy to go with me and see if he'll run the camera for us. If not, I guess I'll just set it up and do some stills and hope for the best for static shots. Anyway, I wanted to go over a couple of topics of support and then just some touch on updates and things of that nature. I'm going to talk about friends today. And friends can be people from your support areas. They can be friends you knew before. They can be friends you've newly made. They can be friends of other friends that you've become acquaintances with and hang out with more than once. And if you like somebody that you've hung out with more than once and you feel it's a mutual thing and you have that person's contact information, that's possibly a friend at that point, and you should cultivate whatever you can. So, cultivate friendships where you can. Some will stick, some will not. But, do your best. Friends will get you by when you're going through things that are really resetting your whole self. That's the experience that I've had. I had very few friends. I was in a committed relationship for 17 years. And I just kind of glommed on to the friends of my partner. And that was okay, but they really weren't my friends. None of them have stuck around. All of them are supporting my partner, my ex-partner. And that's perfectly good. They were hers to begin with, And, she's struggling throughout the process and needs the support. So I'm glad they're there for her. And I have no intention of going to any of them to cultivate anything at the moment until I feel at some point that things are smoother. And, and regain a few of the people, not regain them, but just, be able to touch base and keep up with some that, were important to me. So, and if they want to do more than that and, reopen relationship status type stuff, well, great, but I need to leave that up to them because I think that the support for my partner is important. And it's really tough to see someone you care so much about be in such agony, Healing is a long process, and I'm hoping at some point there's some healing there. I've had a tremendous amount of support, so I feel I'm doing quite well, to be honest. I've had a tremendous array of support, as well as these new friends, and some of them, and I have to be very honest, I swear some of them feel like I've known them forever. Sometimes I get a sense of deja vu, where I can't explain it, just a sense of deja vu where it's like I've known this person forever, we already know everything about each other, and at certain times I could tell the person what they're about to say, and they say it, and I'm thinking, I should have said that. I should have said, you're going to say this. It would really freak them out, and it freaks me out because I knew exactly what was going to happen. It's just deja vu, right? So, I don't know. Anyway, I have developed some friends from group, and that's a place where there are the possibilities of developing friendships, and they're like-minded people who get it. Other trans people get it. So it's kind of an easier world when you're people that support you and befriend you have extremely similar ideas about how to live one's life. So it's just easier, but at the same time a kindred spirit develops from this, bond of mutual pathways type of thing. So I have some fantastic friends. I've met some on the forums, I've met some in group, I've met some through people I knew from other people. There are other networks and social media and stuff, but I'm not super active there, so I haven't really cultivated anything that direction. I've caught up with old friends that way, my first girlfriend and stuff from high school, and sadly she's across the United States, and by the time I can pick up the phone, she's in bed, so I don't have a lot of opportunities to catch up with her. At some point, I'm hoping to at least do a conference call on the couch with the two of us, so you can hear some of her viewpoints as a cisgender female who has not been in the trans communities, who has been exposed to me from, I was like 17 or something, 17 to 19, that area. We went to the senior prom in high school and all that stuff, and or senior ball, So, she had some really, good, fun experiences with me early, but she has some very interesting things to say about how she felt about me and why she felt that way. So, I'd love to do a conference call with her on that one. And then, of course, other people I knew. Some of my old friends from my original life, shall we call it, have other people they know. And a good friend of mine who was in the motorcycle club I belonged to has this wonderful wife, and she's a fantastic person and quite an artist. And I've looked at her work, and honestly, I wish, I love seeing talent in people, but I always wish I had it myself too. Not really an envious type of thing, but gosh, what a beautiful thing. I wish I was able to create something that was so beautiful, And I know that the talent lies dormant within me. I just have not cultivated things. One of my problems has been follow through. Sometimes I really truly wonder if I have ADHD to some small fashion. And I think, as we all know, as I've been driving along with these videos, once in a while I'll just be, oh my gosh, turkeys, It's like the dog. It's like Doug from the movie Up. Squirrel! I love you and I just met you. Which is me all the way through. And I think that's so funny. So I don't know. Maybe I need a little box with an interpreter light on it to tell everyone what I'm thinking. Squirrel! I love you and I just met you. So, when you have a group of people who are your friends and you can acquaint with, you can sympathize and empathize with, it builds this little bubble around you of kind of a safe feeling, a cushion, if you will, from the ridiculous harshness of everything else that presses down upon you. And without it, you're lacking that cushioning. initially I had absolutely no external friends, just a few old friends that were struggling on the acceptance scale. And sadly, I really haven't been able to keep contact with my previous best friend. And I think it has to do greatly with the change in his life. A brand new family, brand new job. He has a wife now, and he's raising his kids, and he's focusing on family and stuff, and hanging out with crazy old Jackie's not exactly high on the list. And honestly, I don't think he knows how to relate to Jackie to some extent, because Jackie is quite different. So a lot of the shared things were kind of shared male things, and those aren't there. At some point, we will keep in touch and, grab a lunch here or there, but I'm kind of mourning the loss of something, and I realized that this morning, and I thought, well, I want to talk about friends. I don't think there's a reason to mourn a permanent loss, just a loss of something special that seems to have quieted down. That's all. I know he's not gone, and I know he's still my friend, but our activity levels and our conversations have kind of quieted down. And that happens in normal life anyway, so, no need to worry about it too much, I suppose. And I've cultivated a few friends outside of my original groups that are now absolutely only really acquainted with Jackie, which is really interesting. I mean, they kind of remember the old guy, but now it's just Jackie, and they're super happy for me to just be more active in that group. So that's really a fun thing for me. The bigger circle of that group never knew me and got to meet me back in October when we went to Monterey. And so the bigger circle of that group only kind of knows me. And not everyone knows I'm trans. They just know Jackie. They might suspect, but there's no real, connection. It's not like I stood up in front of everyone and said, oh, by the way. And speaking of that, I had to build a new relationship, and it was a splinter relationship through a business connection. And those people did know, because they came and, saw me directly, and they were asking for the old guy, and, I had to explain, okay, look, he's not going to be around because I'm the only thing left, so let's move on with that. I hope that's okay. And they were fine. They didn't care. They told me they were from like Pennsylvania and somewhere else, and whatever. They didn't care. It's like whatever. They're just, money's green. Who cares? And so that led to the distributor, and the distributor wanted to develop a relationship and start working on things. And I knew that there was already this connection. I know that people talk, and the last thing I need is a bunch of rumors, and innuendo and weirdness. And so I broached it myself, even though I kicked myself in the tail afterwards thinking, why am I constantly telling people? Well, in this instance, I knew there would be some back chat. Not, well, that's a poor choice of words. Some, whispers in the background, because it's just too juicy of a topic. And I decided to take a hold of it myself. So, oops, I forgot to put my phone in airplane mode. I just realized hopefully it's not making noises at everybody. So I just broached it, and I said, what I would like to know is that you will keep this to yourself. It is a topic that is fun to share. However, it's not fun for me when it's shared. And I'm telling you because as a business relationship, you're going to hear a few things. And I'd rather be the one to tell you so that you know what's going on. And this is the deal. I'm not brand new to this industry. I've been in this industry for 27 years, and I'm actually quite well known. So this is what's happening. However, professionally, it could be damaging. So I don't want the company I work for to have struggling problems based upon my information. So it really does need to stay with you. I'm just being upfront with you so that you don't have to wonder if there's some weirdness in the background. He said that he appreciated it and implied that there were whispers, so I'm glad that I broached it. And I figured that there probably would have been, so it's good that I did. Although I felt like kicking myself in my own tail because I wasn't really happy with the idea that I keep having to do this. I do it so much less, and sometimes I don't do it at all, and in some time I will not do it ever again. I'll just let it lie on the floor dead. So, there it is. So there are some people I know through work. There are some people I know through other relationships, old relationships, other people who I was in relationships with in some fashion. And I've cobbled together this loose group of friends. And when you have these friends surrounding you, it is kind of like this cushion bubble of protection from all the horrible things that one must have to do in life in general, plus, all of the struggles one goes through in transition. So I urge you to do so. If you have no friends whatsoever, and sometimes I hear this from people, in my age group, I'll be, talking to someone on a forum or something, and they'll tell me, Jackie, I don't have any friends at all. I've been married X number of years, and, they're all family friends or friends of my spouse, that sort of thing. I literally have no friends whatsoever, and I've heard this on many occasions. And I tell them the same thing. I was in the same situation, and I started by going to group therapy and group meetings at the LGBTQ Center, and I didn't just develop instant friends. However, I did work hard to find some individuals that seemed like they connected, and then I would talk to them and gauge whether or not they felt connected. And at some point, some people would ask me for my information, and sometimes I would say, is it okay if, we go to lunch sometime or something? I love talking to you, and we never have enough time while we're here, Is that okay? And then they're always like, oh, well, yeah, absolutely, let's do that. I went to dinner last night with my dad, and he had helped at the shop for a couple hours, and God, he just gets stuff done. That guy just gets stuff done. It's really amazing. I was so just not productive yesterday. I mean, so not productive yesterday. And I felt terrible. I got in late. I couldn't get myself going. I was wiped out. No motivation. Things were getting in my way. I was getting sidetracked. There were phone calls. There were emails. And nothing was happening work-wise. And I'm like, dang it. And finally, I got my tail in gear. But it's like the end of the day. And the shipping manager was not happy. I could tell. I mean, he was nice about it and didn't say anything. He's a very professional person. But he was just not pleased. And he had every right not to be pleased. I didn't really do my job well yesterday. So today I'm going to be making up for that. Hopefully we'll be okay. But, gosh, where was I going with that? I don't even know. I lost my train of thought. Leg is hurting today, too. The weather. Rubbing my legs, it hurts. I don't even know where I was going with that. But, my chosen dad was someone I went out with last night, and we really enjoy one another's company. And the bizarre thing, and okay, this is one of those people where I've had a weird deja vu feeling with. And that's how it all started. The first moment I met this person, I had this instant deja vu kind of, whoa, I know this person somehow. It seems like a dad to me. This is a father. And not just like a father, like, seems like a father, like, seems like my father. And I just don't have a way to pinpoint that, other than I had that deja vu feeling. So it was really an interesting deal. And so we're sitting there, and we sat down, and here's what I thought was really interesting. I thought, I know exactly what I want, and I want this salad, and I'm going to have some water, and I don't really like ice, and all that stuff. So he orders, and I was like, wait, he just ordered exactly what I wanted. So then I said, just make it two, just make it two of those. And I said something like, oh, it must be genetic, and the waitress laughed. And later there was something else going on, and I put a straw in my drink, he didn't, and we're talking about something else, and even he was like, some similar thing came up. He's like, oh, it must be genetic. And I'm thinking, yeah, it really must be. It's getting so strange. But thank goodness, because it's a connection that I feel good about. It's a really nice connection. I'm really enjoying it. It's a way more special connection than just, a friend that, you meet and you hang out with. This is my buddy who is my dad, who is family, it really is a special connection. It's helping me and being kind to me and offering, advice where I need it. Good advice, too. I was texting someone and I got a little bitchy. And he called me out on it, that's what a good friend will do. Call you out on your crap. And I immediately snapped back and said, oh my goodness, you are so right. I do sometimes, I'll write a text knowing I'm going to erase it. So I will say what I want to say, and then just get rid of it. Although there's always the danger you accidentally send the thing. So there have been times when I will send a text to myself knowing I'm going to erase it and not send it at all. And I will just send this text. Sometimes they're kind of fiery, whatever, so I'm kind of bitchy about something, but I want to just say it. So I say it, I read it, I tell myself, well, that was unnecessary. You're a nicer person than that, Jackie. And then I get rid of it. But this was a good point to make. This person, this father of mine, immediately did exactly what any good father would do. Jackie, that's not you. Why are you saying that? That's not good. These are the reasons, and you know better. I raised you better. So funny. But that's what good friends and family who care, that's what they do. I hope that somehow me sharing about friends and friendships and that you can cultivate them, that they are out there and they're part of your bubble of cushion from the world and the troubles of life, somehow helps you understand you're not alone. There are ways and means for you to cope with the idea of going through transition, even when it seems so impossible. It is not impossible by any means. And by all means, if you need support and you need it quickly, there are resources for that. Those resources being transgenderpulse.com, the resource page with therapists in your area that you could find. And I recommend first and foremost that if you've done nothing else and you are seeking, get a therapist. Don't go buying hormones or any of those things. In fact, don't do that at all. You are going to get hurt. I know people who have had blood clots and all sorts of stuff. It's a huge mistake. Don't do it. The important thing here really is to talk to someone who can help you through the process. And opening up and keeping an open mind is really the thing that you need to do if you're seriously considering anything at all along these lines. So use that resource. And if you're having extreme struggles and the dark thoughts persist, even if you think they're passive, they're not passive because they lead to planning, and planning leads to endings. I would say you need to talk to someone right now, and if that's the case, they do have suicide hotlines, and you can discuss whatever you need to with these people. And it's not like you have to be in imminent danger of that very second wanting to harm yourself. It could be that you're having passive thoughts, that you're struggling. Call them. No harm done. None whatsoever. They're there for you, so use it. And if you would like to talk to people about gender-affirming topics who understand, get it, and are going to be supportive, there is a vast array of very wonderful individuals who will chat with you and text and reply to your posts in the forum there on transgenderpulse.com. And I highly recommend being as honest as possible and keeping it clean. This is a clean topic support area only, so that's the most important thing there. After all of those things, I want you to remember this. I care. Jackie cares about your struggle. I am going through it as well. I wish you the very best, and I want you to know you are not alone. You're not alone by a long shot. Remember, we're going through this. You and me, no matter where on the spectrum we are, there are more than just us who have done this. And I want to share everything I possibly can so that you can also know it's not the end, it's just a new beginning. So take care of yourself, and I'm off to work here, hopefully on a reasonable time schedule. I'm supposed to be there this very second, and I'm a bit ways away, so I will go make myself a cup of coffee and be super, super productive today and move on from there. So take care of yourself. Have a fantastic and productive work week. I will see you next time, honeys. Bye.